Good morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever time of day you are watching this video. My name, as always, is Alex, and we're back with another kind of important, fancy video. I know I did a lot of those shorts during the Christmas season, but we're back to doing this, and we're going to do like a 5-part mini series on the things that I feel like a tween needs to learn and know moving into becoming a teen, and in the end, the rest of their lives. Cool? All right, come along. So today's journey, first one we're going to talk about for today is resilience. What it is, why I hate it, and why you need it. So the agenda today is intro. What is resilience? Why I hate it, why you need it, how to cope with things you don't like, how to be bored, how to tolerate annoying people, and how to push through when things get tough. Because spoilers, things get tough in life. So what is resilience? That's a good question, Alex. I'm going to answer it. Oh, cool. Thank you so much. Resilience, when you boil it down to its most basic form, is being able to tolerate difficult situations. If you were born before 2020, you've already proved your resilience. So why do I hate it? That is a very weird thing to be talking about something you hate, but I'm going to explain this a little bit. So resilience is what you need to cope with difficult situations when all other supports have failed. And why I hate that is because I am, or at least I'd like to think of myself as one of those supports in your life. I would like to think of myself as being one of those people that you can go to for help, and that I'm one of those people that you can go to when you're going through a difficult time. But it's what you need when you are doing things on your own, when you are left to cope with things on your own. You have to be resilient to push through. It's when you're faced with a difficult situation that you are struggling to get through. It's never a situation that's easy to resolve. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm going to do a math test, 1 plus 1 is 2, etc. It's when you're faced with something difficult that you need to push through for. It's when you have to deal with uncomfortable issues, uncomfortable interactions, when you're dealing with people who are annoying, when you're dealing with people who don't have the same view as you, when you're having to sit through that Remembrance Day celebration, where we talk about all those things that we had to cope with and all those soldiers that fought to defend and protect ourselves. Those are difficult situations to be with. And having resilience to push through, to learn about these things, to learn about the not so great history that we've all had as a country, as a species, that takes resilience, that takes confidence, that takes courage. But the reason why I hate it is because it's when you have to do it without support. Just to clarify, just to go back to that. So when you've already been resilient, COVID hit the world, the entire world. It was probably, without hyperbole, which means without exaggeration, the most global devastation that this planet, as a human species, since humans have been around, have had to face. And you've had to deal with that. You as a young person, you as a tween, you lost, all intents and purposes, a good chunk of your childhood. And you had to be resilient through it because we were all faced with unknowns. We asked you to do things like online school, wear a mask, keep your distance, don't visit friends or family. Christmas was so different those years, right? And you did it without fully understanding why you were asked to do it, why you had to do it, but you did it. You showed your resilience. That took a massive amount of resilience. I just hate that we all had to go through it, but it was a good lesson in teaching you resilience. So why do I need to be resilient? Why do you need to be resilient? To reach your goals, to achieve those things that you want to do in life, you're going to have to go through difficult situations to do it. If it's not hard, if the work you're doing isn't difficult for you, then you're not learning, you're not pushing through, you're not actually working towards those goals. You need resilience to tolerate others. You are going to be faced with so many people that you don't like in life. You're going to be faced with so many people that you disagree with in life. But you need resilience to be able to cope with those people, to be bored, to make it through being bored. You need to learn how to be bored, how to be resilient through that, to achieve your dreams in life. If your dreams are easy to achieve, then you got to dream bigger. If your dreams are something that you're going to be able to achieve in a day or a week, you got to dream bigger. And having resilience will help you push through and get to those dreams. It's to help you make it through difficult situations. That's what resilience boils down to. So how to cope with things you don't like. So how are we going to do this? When you're dealing with work that you really don't like, work that seems daunting, that means overwhelming, when things seem difficult, chunk your work into little bits. Do a little thing and then give yourself a little break. Don't let the break be longer than the time you're doing things. Here's a perfect example of stuff. So what I'll do is when I have to clean my place, when I have to clean my apartment, I will do one chunking room. I will clean the entire bathroom and then I'll take a break. I'll play a round or two or a race or so on F1, right? I will do a day in Stardew Valley or so, and then I go back to doing those hard things. Take those breaks between things to chunk it into littler bits. Plan something fun to do after you've done that difficult bit. If you know that you're going to have to do a big, massive presentation on that day that you're nervous about, bring a little extra treat for yourself afterwards. Bring yourself a little cupcake or something to make yourself feel good about achieving it. Celebrate those hard things in your life that you are doing. Remind yourself why you are doing these things. Why is it that you are putting up with that boring class that you hate to do? So why are you doing it? It's because then you need to take these classes so you can learn what makes you passionate about things and what kind of makes you kind of not really like it so much. But you have to deal with those things that you don't like so much so you know for sure the things that you really want to do. You got to get through the boring stuff so you can get to the good stuff in life, right? One thing that you can do is you can ask for help from those around you. Ask for help when you're dealing with difficult situations. And after those difficult situations, you can ask for help with how to learn how to deal with those situations better in the future. Because we're always learning. We're always learning. I'm learning from you. You're learning from me. That's what life is all about, is learning how to deal with difficult situations better the next time. This is one thing I like to talk about. It's remember that everyone has to be an NPC at some point so that you can have time where you get to be the protagonist, right? You have to work the boring class so that you can actually get to the fun stuff. You have to do all those boring practices so that you can get to that tournament game and win. You have to be an NPC so that you can get to the point where you get to be the protagonist in your own story. How to be bored. So I intentionally left this page blank without any pictures or anything to accentuate the fact that we're being bored. So when are you bored in life? Right now, LOL, that's a joke because you're bored listening to me talk right now. Joking. I know you guys are all super interested right now. So waiting in line. Have you ever been at Canada's Wonderland or like a theme park and you're waiting in line and you have to just stand there and just like be bored? That's when you have to be bored. Or at school when you're waiting in line, right? When you're finished your work and other people aren't. That's when you're bored. You're like, oh, I have nothing to do right now, right? Waiting for programs to load on devices. Oh my goodness. That is frustrating when your internet's down or something, or you're trying to log into your device and it's just not working. That is very boring. Working with younger or less skilled people can be boring. When you have to deal with it, when you have to deal with people who are not as skilled at the thing that you are skilled at, that can be difficult. Or when you're dealing with young kids, when you're doing reading buddies, that can be frustrating, that can be boring. But that's what you're going to have to deal with in life, right? So what can you do that's productive during this time? You can plan future events. If you're waiting in line, you can plan how you're going to do it. If you're where you're going to sit on that ride. Do you want to sit at the front? Do you want to sit at the back? When you're waiting in line for going to like whatever, you can just plan what you're going to do when you get there, when you finish it, right? When you're waiting, when you're done the assignment in class, plan what you're going to do when you get home. Plan what video game you're going to play. Plan what game you're going to play. Plan what poem you're going to write. Use your imagination. Use that. Sit there and imagine something. Create something in your mind. Create a superhero. Create a fantasy hero. Create a villain. Create a story that you get to do. These are things that you get to do when you're bored. Being bored is a luxury. Offer to help people. If you're done your work, offer to help people around you. Do a self-check-in. Check, where am I at? What emotion am I feeling? Are my fingers tight? Is my head scrunched up? Or am I relaxed? And if you're not, then do some calming strategies in those moments, right? Do some deep belly breathing. Do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique, right? Use non-invasive fidget tools. And what I mean by that is don't do things that are going to distract people, but do things that can just keep your attention going, keep your body moving. How to tolerate annoying people. Don't get caught up in their drama. The second you get involved, the second you contribute, the second you add to it, you're involved and you are part of it, which means you're part of the problem. Use clear, precise language so they understand that you're serious when you want them to leave you alone. So many times people come to me and they say, oh yeah, no, I used my words, I said that I don't want them around. But they'll say it in a way that isn't very clear. If people are chasing you and you don't want them to, then running away and running and laughing and joking about it isn't going to help. Stop and look at them and say, I don't like this. I want you to stop. And if you don't, I will get help to make you stop. And if they still don't, that's when you go to a teacher. If you're becoming overwhelmed by what someone is doing and you're not, it's something that they're doing and you can't control what they're doing, you have to control how you react to it. And that is going to be taking a lot of resilience. So if someone is annoying you and you've asked them to stop, and going for help is not tattling, it's not snitching, it's not ratting on someone, it's getting help. So if somebody is annoying you, then you need to use precise language to tell them to stop. And if they don't, you need to get help. Don't add to the drama. Stop the drama and get help. How to push through. How do we actually push through with our perseverance? Remind yourself what you're working towards. What is my end game? What is my goal? Chunk your work into smaller bits. Focus on things that you can complete or things that you know how to do before going to get help for the things that you don't know how to do. So you're already done most of the work. Remember, asking for help is part of being resilient. And if people are annoying you, use your words first. And if they don't listen, then you go for help. You never use your body unless they're like stopping you physically. Then you have to fight through it, push past them, and then go to help. You never continue the violence. So to summarize everything, resilience is your ability to push through or cope with hard times. You have already been resilient so much in your life that you know how to do it. To be successful in life, you have to continue to be resilient. It is knowing how to be bored appropriately, how to cope with annoying people that are around you, and people who share different views than you, and learning how to control your actions. Remember, you are not always in control of what happens, but you are in control with how you respond to it. Thank you, everybody, for watching this video. Thank you, everybody, for being resilient and continue to be resilient. My name, as always, is Alex. Hope you have a wonderful day.